Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. With a little bit of a breaking news, a JP Morgan trader admits to lies about gold and silver manipulation. Let's explore. Indeed, the metals that you see here on your screen are really just two of several other precious metals, platinum and palladium, that likely have been manipulated in price adjustments with spoofing orders from JP Morgan. There is an ongoing trial in this case, and it's something that I have been documenting on this channel for a number of years. And it's ironic because I'm probably one of the biggest critics of a part of manipulation, that is a cabal of price suppression by the big banks out there. I'm of the belief that though there is manipulation occurring, it happens in both directions, on the upside and downside. Whereas price suppression, though I think it does happen, as well as price manipulation to the upside, is there a conspiracy over a long course of time? I'm more open to it now than ever before. However, I've not seen hard and fast evidence of it. It may be very difficult to really track down and trace. I would like to talk to some folks. I know there's one or two in the precious metal space that do videos and articles and the like that talk about this. Would really like to pick their ear about it a little bit more. But nonetheless, we know manipulation does happen. But we also know, without a shadow of a doubt, that the natural market forces play the largest role in the movement of gold and silver prices, something else I also document on this channel. But nonetheless, it happens really for all commodities out there for sure. But let's talk about this. This is coming to us from Bloomberg by way of Yahoo Finance. JP Morgan gold trader turned whistleblower admits to lying, and this is quite revealing. FBI agents knocked on the door of his Brooklyn, New York home in August of 2018. Trader John Edmonds told them he didn't know anything about gold and silver price manipulation at JP Morgan Chase & Company. But this was a lie, he admitted on Thursday. Yes, indeed, the trial continues, and as news breaks about this, I'm going to cover it here on this channel. Edmonds, who worked at JP Morgan for about a decade, eventually pleaded guilty to conspiracy and commodities fraud and agreed to cooperate with prosecutors. He's now a key government witness against his former boss, Michael Nowak, the longtime head of the precious metals trading desk, gold trader Greg Smith, and hedge fund salesman Jeffrey Ruffo. In fact, JP Morgan themselves paid a $920 million fine and are now witnesses for the government. In fact, they're helping the government prosecute these three. Pretty amazing. And again, if you like news like this, where I talk about controversial topics with relation to precious metals or precious metals in general, I hope you'll press the thumbs up button and consider subscribing and hit the notification bell as well. So during the 2 days of testimony at a criminal trial in Chicago, Edmonds described how the three senior executives routinely used spoof trades. This is huge orders that are quickly canceled before they can be executed to push precious metals up or down. Let that sink in for a minute, folks. Pushing precious metal prices up or down. It works both ways. And this occurred from 2008 to 2016 to make trades for the bank and its clients more profitable. Edmonds said he learned how to spoof at JP Morgan. But Nowak's defense lawyer, David Meister, said over hours of cross-examination on Thursday sought to undermine the credibility of Edmonds, who testified earlier that he'd committed no crimes since leaving JP Morgan in 2017. Meister questioned Edmonds about his FBI interview in 2018 and played a recording of the encounter made by the agents. I don't know what is going on in the market at the time, Edmonds can be heard saying, or what was going on in the market at the time. not spoofing, no manipulation, like that's not what we do. In federal court on Thursday, the former trader said he didn't know lying to an FBI agent was a crime and regretted doing so. Wow. Well, I tell you what, that's pretty much Defense 101, that lying to an FBI agent is a crime. I knew that. Anyways, he goes on to says, I owned up to what I did. It's what happened, and the penalties are the penalties, Edmonds said. Meister also brought up comments by Edmonds under oath during a deposition he gave in a lawsuit against J.P. Morgan after he'd left the bank. At the time, the former trader told federal authorities he didn't know why one of his colleagues was fired in 2013. But on Thursday, Edmonds admitted that Nowak had told him in a meeting shortly after the firing that the former colleague had lost his job for spoofing. And by the way, in a little bit of cursory research that I've done on this story to see if there's anything else out there on the trial, there was another story that documents how integrated and how complex some of these trades were, and in the spoofing, and basically making the case that it was purposeful and directed at exactly doing this and manipulation. Sadly, that is behind a paywall, and I'm not able to get the details on it. But the article here continues. He said, you lied to the deposition. You lied to the FBI, Meister said. That's 2 crimes committed after you left J.P. Morgan. Edmonds, who has been on the witness stand since Tuesday, was hired at a salary of about $80,000 in 2008. That's a pretty good chunk of change, I would say, and was earning about $300,000 annually by 2017. A massive, much more greater salary for sure. When he left the bank, he took a severance buyout of about $157,000. On during cross-examination on Friday by Smith's attorney, Jonathan Cogan, Edmonds admitted that he also lied on his 2017 severance agreement with J.P. Morgan, which included a requirement that he disclose any violations of the bank's code of conduct that he was aware of. Edmonds testified that while he signed the document saying there was no violations that he was aware of, that was a lie. He added that he had been telling the truth since he agreed to plead guilty and cooperate with prosecutors. Also under scrutiny was Edmonds' trading record. Between 2009 and 2013, he averaged an annual loss of $39,000 according to data shown to the court, though he began to generate profit towards the end of that period. Earlier on in my career, I lost money, Edmonds said. It was a learning curve, and over time I started to make more money. Started to get better, he said. The annual profit of J.P. Morgan's precious metals desk varied, but it never dipped below $100 million between 2007 and 2018, according to data presented by Meister. In the best year, it made more than double that. So let's do a little bit of math here. If it at a minimum did $100 million between 2007 and 2018, that is 11 years. That's I guess $1.1 billion, and its best year it doubled that. So let's just say at the very least, it did $1.2 billion. And if they had to pay $920 billion, that eats it away at a pretty large chunk of their profits by the most conservative standards. So that is interesting to think about in terms of that portion of the precious metals trading desk profits. So that means that the penalty was pretty stiff if we are to believe these numbers. And that is the conservative standard. If we add another $100 million in there, we're still eating away at some profits. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. But a very interesting news here about this specific case, but also about their profits from the trades here. We're learning a lot more about this, and we're also learning that what do they do? What is their motive? What is J.P. Morgan's motive? They are the biggest bank. Their motive is to make money, make as much money as possible for themselves and their clients. but mainly themselves. That's what they're in the business to do. They really don't care about some grand scheme to keep silver down or gold down, for that matter, for all that matter, or any other metal. They're going to use any commodity, any precious metal, whether it be gold, silver, platinum, or palladium, in order to get their profits up. But you know what they can't manipulate? The actual physical ounces that we have in our possession. And the price can move one way or the other. An ounce is an ounce. And no matter what your thoughts are, people have varying views on this. Some people feel it's complete manipulation by the banks. Others feel it's complete manipulation by a variety of different parties involved, and that's for sure. The biggest manipulator is the Federal Reserve, by design. Of course, they're going to manipulate. They're going to manipulate, first and foremost, the dollar. Of course, they don't have much control of the dollar right now. Its inflation is out of control, out of their control, at least at the moment. They're trying their best with their, quote, toolbox. But what do they have left in the toolbox to do? Raise interest rates, and we're going to see that coming soon. So there you have it. Gold and silver, they are the metals, the two biggest ones that people are concerned about with these prices where they're at now. And they're low, and some people are blaming that on manipulation and price suppression. But nonetheless, we're covering it on this channel, Manipulation with J.P. Morgan. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.